Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream this evening. I trust everybody is well. I'm not doing too bad today, I'm glad to say. Although it's been a bit of an odd day, but time to, time to bit of an odd day. I was falling asleep just before the stream, but time to get on with the stream. Get rid of the finger mark off that bit of the board there. Right, so we will be continuing with more of the you can tell there's a magnet in there, can't you? Where is I did a bit of tidying up, and of course, because I tidied up, everything's not where it should be, sort of. It's all over the place. So, got that. That's bent, but no, never mind. And I did actually remember my file this evening. Let go, thank you. So the file is there for me just to apply a little sharp point on this tool, just in case it needs it. Fluffy Twiglet, good evening. Welcome to the studio this evening. Where's my reference pictures? That's a good point. Where on earth is it? Now I have fun finding my reference picture that I was using to look at this with. There it is. That one. No, that one. That's the one. Ah. That looks very nice. That's on card, you're saying, yeah? That's very good. I love the smooth graduation and all of that. Is it going to be coloured over the top of that? So is that just the background shade, black and white shading, or is that the going to be the final image in terms of colour? I like that. That's very good. Thank you for sharing it, Fluffy Twiglet. Right, back to lots more tiny lines. Why did I pick a leopard? Super Speedy! Hello to you as well. Right. Interesting. Just looking at why did I pick a leopard? Yes, I just noticed in looking at the leopard, normally cats have one swirl sort of around here from which the fur radiates. This reference picture I'm looking at has got two, one either side. In fact, yeah, it's almost in the corner of the eye. It's just about there. Okay. Some artists I've noticed sort of do grey tone first, and then put colour over the top of it, because the grey then sets the the grayscale then sets the the tone for everything. So I just wondered. Why did I pick a... Did I say something about liking challenges? Maybe I ought to keep my mouth shut in the future about challenges and things. Okay. This will look really light, but what I'm going to do if I need to is make it light, as in dark. Sometimes I have a habit with this of reversing. So when I say really light, I mean it's dark. When I say really dark, I mean light. Except when I'm talking about really light here, when I mean really light. Sorry. Dear. The little lag spikes in your PC are horrible. Well, don't put spikes on your PC then. If you take them off, maybe your PC will do better. And I see spikes on collars and things like that, but I suppose if it's sort of, I don't know, is it some sort of mob trap in PC for your PC in case you play Minecraft? Sorry. Oh, interesting. Yes. Well, strictly speaking, it is. Yes, it's it effectively it's how wide is the scratch. The wider the scratch, the more white is visible, and therefore it looks brighter. But equally, lots of small scratches in a small area will look lighter than fewer scratches in the same area, even if those scratches are wider. Does that make sense? So it's like shading with a pencil, I guess. The heavier you press, the more darker it looks, and the more dark lines you put in an area, the darker it looks. It's kind of like the same thing, really, just in reverse. I'm trying to get 2 or 3 shades of colour, and what I'm doing, if I work sparsely, I can add them in. If I work too heavy, then I've got to take them out. The only way of doing that is to get out black ink and work over it, or to make everything else around it lighter. So bring everything else up as well, and then the area that was too light doesn't look as light then. Yeah, you're right for Bitwiggler. I was joking. Yes. Little lag spikes. Only time I've seen, well, my PC does occasionally will do that, but it's usually really busy doing something else. Yep, indeed, cross-hatching is generally another way of doing it. That's how the John Miles one was done, lots of cross-hatching. Oh, the internet's yeah. 3D Bloke, good evening, welcome. Generally speaking, though, on most internets, video, well, some on a lot of internet providers, video will get preference over downloads. It'll just be seesawing a little bit. So, I didn't see the end of the painting last night, 3D, but how did it go? I'm probably not going to cross-hatch this though. Well, I'm almost certainly not going to cross-hatch this though, Fluffy Twiglet, because I intend to try and represent fur. And the cross-hatch, you could do it with cross-hatching, but then you're not representing fur, you're representing the colour of the fur. So I kind of would like to get the fur texture in there. So this one will be cross-hatch free, certainly on the face. If I do anything in the background, then yeah, I did like that blue when it went on. It had a lovely vibrant, almost translucent look on it, when especially when you added the other blue right on the left, that looked quite nice. So just off the edge of the nose there is like that. So which way is the fur? This is so tiny, it's almost dots. Okay. Yeah. Yes, no, you can use exactly the same techniques that you'd use with a pencil, Fluffy Twiglet. You'll be buying a whole new series of paints now, 3D. Maybe you ought to get a router where you can adjust the priority of packets. That way you can prioritize your own. So going up that way roughly. To about there. Now I said yesterday I wanted to work with the fur, which of course will be going sort of end towards root. This area of the nose, the fur is so tiny. In fact, it's probably stood straight up almost. It's not lying specifically. I'm not seeing it in the as laid in a particular direction almost. So what I'm going to just try and do is just almost dots. In which case, because I'm not working, I'm not laying the fur on top of each other, I can work in any sort of direction I want. Do I sell my work? Yes, I would do a 7 pony plug 7, but it's not cheap because there's many hours go into it. If you're in terms of the straight artwork, or even the carving for that matter, jewellery is something which is less expensive, and there is an Etsy shop with some of the jewellery in it, and I intend to put some of the pyrography, the smaller pyrography items into there shortly. But big pieces like this, which take 10-20 hours, would be a little bit expensive. But if you're interested, then you're quite welcome to drop me a Twitch message. Yeah, I mean, in theory, you only need about 4 paints, don't you? 3, but they never mix that well. I'm still waiting on the cash for it, Fluffy Twiglet. What I really should do as well is do the eyes, as I keep, since I keep mentioning the fact that doing the eyes can make or break a piece. There's always the temptation to leave it to last, and it's kind of like, if it goes wrong at that point, you've wasted all the rest of the time. No, it's no problem, Pony Plug. Turkey, hello, welcome. Yes, if we can take a look at that. Super speedy, but you need to be permitted before you can post a link. Let me just do... yes, I would sell in UK pounds, Pony Plug. Yeah, well, yeah, I know in theory you can mix them off, but as you say, I get a bit lazy. It just gets difficult when you're mixing as well sometimes, just because of course the pigments aren't perfect, so you can't use a true CMYK. I love the way, just like with a pencil, you just put an extra few scratches in and you just get a little bit of extra tone and it just nudges things. You have 2 minutes to reach minimum safe. Nah, I don't know that one. It's an interesting image, Super Speedy. Eddie Guy, good evening. Pony Plug, your name is Craigish. Don't quite work that out, but okay. Yes, it's what looks odd. Sorry, I was studying it because it just took a little bit to work out some of the shapes. I think it's an interesting image. I was 3D was there. It's missing a little bit of shading, I think, as well. It's a bit hard to see some of the shapes because I expect to see some shading, but yeah, an interesting image. Thank you for sharing that. Pony Plug, thank you very much for following. Right. Yeah, and we've got to come all the way over here because we've got something similar on this side, which is the and we're going to come all up to about there as well. What I might actually do with this, I was trying to decide whether I want to ink it or not, and I've sort of got the two options of doing it as a normal standard leopard, is there such a thing, the orange brown, or could call it a snow leopard, in which case of course it's in its natural colours now already. But what I was thinking about doing was just inking the eyes. So the eyes are the only coloured item on the whole piece. Because I kind of feel that would really sort of make the thing suddenly jump out at you, if you pardon the pun, it being a leopard. Why would we be harsh? There's no reason to be harsh. I mean, you're doing art, and it's whatever you're comfortable with. That one has got great shapes involved. Um, there's nice form. The proportions are right. There's nothing to be harsh about. Again, the improvement would be in shading. To work on to get better. Shading, shadows, shading of arms. I mean, if you look at my arm here, this area is darker. You have a light area there, and it darkens again, so you start to see the shapes. Indeed. Yeah, it's obvious things like the section name. Obviously, it's just too obvious for people. And they obviously also have absolutely no knowledge of anatomy, so they must be really, really tiny kids. Hmm. That drawing's the same one, Super Speedy. That's the same one again, Super Speedy, of the girl. That's not what I'm looking for. Is that the one? Sorry, I'm just sorting something at this end. There we go. Right. And reference picture. Let's bring my reference picture back up. There we go. Right. That looks like a different link now. Yeah, you see, you're doing well there, Super Speedy, because you've got the proportions right. You know, you've got the shapes in the right places with the right lengths and things like that. So, yeah, you know, just carry on with it. Just keep practicing. That's quite a complex drawing as well. I think 3D was looking into that, Fluffy Twiddler. Okay, that's about the fur gets a bit lighter then as we move away from that particular area. In fact, it's a bit lighter around here, so you have to be careful of is not to actually create longer scratches at this point. I am just increasing the number of sort of dots in the area just to increase the lightness a little bit. Good evening, Dig. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing is doing them and then adding colour to the eyes after that. But yes, well, you can try it, Super Speedy, and if you try it and don't like it, you can stop. But it's quite good fun. Quite good fun. LDLH, good evening and welcome. So I've got around here. That's going to be quite useful to put in. So we've got a little sort of black stripe on this reference, just around there. Which wants to basically curve a little bit around if I can do it. And we're starting to get hair laying a little bit around there. Okay. Yes, just I can take it off if he doesn't want it, but it just seemed a good thing at this point in time, just to help out in case. Alice Sanders, thank you. In case he got a little bit busy. I know Free isn't particularly interested in being mod, but how's it going? Well, it's going. And Dig, well, they're one of them, that's for sure. One of them. So I've got a little bit of oh, it does have whiskers coming out there. On the reference picture, there's a dark line here, and when I've just looked at it now, because in each of these dark spots here, there's effectively a long whisker hair coming out, and I just thought this was a dark line, but I've just taken a closer look, and there are actually little tiny black whiskers coming out of it as well. No, you can't mod, Midge. Indeed, rule 1. I guess I should try and fill in this area around here a little bit, because it kind of looks odd a little bit at the moment. So yeah. Yeah. So we're working in that sort of direction there. Okay, and the hairs are heading away from there and towards there. Okay. That's a super speedy. That's Twitch staff that can do that. Okay. Mm. In some ways, it's Pool 31. Thank you. Laser, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Now, some of these sort of areas, like this sort of black, disappear around the corner of the muzzle. So what will actually happen is the rest of the face for around here will come in and end these black areas, so they don't look open-ended. And the whiskers I'll put in more or less at the end because they'll be quite deep, wide scratches. That I couldn't tell you, LH, because I don't watch it. So I don't know if anybody else in the stream is, but yeah. Oh, just for as long as he wants. In this particular case, Laser, he's got the experience to deal with it, and he's good at what he does. But Free, if you don't want it, just say, because I know it does tend to stop you watching streams when you're doing that. Yep. Thanks, Ray. Fluffy Twiglet says, hi, Mrs. Argonaut. And 3D says, hi, Cream Cake Fairy. Mrs. Argonaut, Fluffy wants to know if you've got any chocolate, because if you have, she'd like to share it. And a cream cake would go down nicely. And if you've got any cream cakes to share, 3D Blocks, you'd like one of those as well. Yeah, I've got the right direction here. At least we're starting to get a little bit of the shape now in here, which is good. Unfortunately, chocolate digestives any good? Maybe. Unfortunately, cream cakes is cream cakeless at the moment. Is free. Exilian, good evening, welcome. A new project, indeed, yes. Scraperboard this time. And that muzzle looks a little off. Okay. Even with that shape there, yeah. Okay, we need a little bit more. Just around there. Now we're starting to see a little bit more of that muzzle shape now that I fill that area in. Let's see if I can do a bit on the other side as well. Let's see if I can match what I've just done. Alright, so it's kind of in that direction there. And it's still in that direction as we go up. Okay. Thank you very much, LLH. So would I rather have $5 million or £500,000 if I win the lottery? Well, if I win the lottery it'll be the UK one, so I wouldn't really be getting it in dollars. But the exchange rate is such that dollars are better value than pounds. So $5 million is probably round about £3 million. That sounds a lot better than 500,000. So not much of a competition discussion item there, Super Speedy. Now, what you do if you won that amount of money is the interesting question. If I won that amount of money, I'd be doing this sort of thing all day. You know, arts and stuff. I wouldn't need to work if I'd won that sort of money. Yeah. Oh, is the conversion rate that bad at the moment? Yeah, you did have a 0 too few. Hmm. But yeah, no. I mean, a question like that, it just becomes a one of which is the best exchange rate. Mind you, the amount of tax you'd have to pay on that, unless it was a tax-free win. Um, all lottery wins, unless the lottery has paid unless you've paid the tax on the ticket, I think, then it's taxable. But then there's other taxes in the UK that come into play, which probably means you wouldn't get all of it. Mm. I can remember things like was it the Turkish lira, where something like a cup of coffee would be a million lira and things like that. That was a long time ago, obviously, because I don't think they have that. And then they devalued it anyway. But that used to be a meal was about 50 million lira or something like that, and it was quite funny shopping because you'd see things like 50, and they didn't mean 50 lira; they meant 50 million. uh, yeah, super speedy. It's sort of a bit like that. Um, yeah, organised. Mm. uh, yeah, that's right. For me, it did. Was it Italian? Yeah, maybe it's the same. Yeah. Dear. Yeah, we're still in that sort of, yeah, sort of that direction. Uh, oh, I can. I remember the older stuff. Free when sixpence was a lot of money, or a tanner. Threepenny bits. Actually, I could even. I can't remember farthings, but I can remember halfpence. Even in new money, the decimal money, I can remember half p's. Uh, but can you remember the quote about deforestation, Free? I'd forgotten that one. Yes, I'd forgotten that one. Um, we shall leave the others to work out that one. That's a lot of numbers, Laser. Hey, at least I don't have to do this in dagger strokes, Free. Uh, which, for those of you who don't understand the reference, in airbrush painting, when you're doing hair, it's what they call a dagger stroke. It starts thick. Well, generally starts thick and comes down to a tape, and it's quite a it's a technique which you've got to practice quite a bit to be able to do. Indeed, that's the reference 3D. That's the correct one. I didn't remember which book it was, but yes, when all the hairdressers, was it the hairdressers, the lawyers, and yeah, and somebody got sent off in the Ark Sea because they were so important that they had to set up everything before Arks A and B arrived, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of audiobooks, especially while I was coding, but I don't do it much these days. Talking of the camera, you know, by the way, last night, that's what I'm doing now, using the OBS feedback. It really does give a different perspective. At the moment, it's kind of like a moonlit tiger just appearing out of the background. I don't like that bottom shape. That bottom shape wants to be a little bit more rounded. And it would help if I remembered that the camera is left to right, and I do the right side. For the next stream, I'm going to reverse that camera just so it's mirror-like, and I might do KSP, yeah, okay. What have I... Have you tried Space Engineers then, Free? Yeah. I noticed Direwolf has just started a series on it. It's not something I've played before. This is quite dark, especially towards that end. Okay. I've sort of, you know, I've watched a few people, and I mean, it's in the same sort of, it's in that same sandbox vein again. So, which is an interesting game mechanic, because it's then left entirely up to yourself how you do it. Some of the other games that I've kind of looked at, like I don't know, the Talos Principle, for example, which is a puzzle game. The only problem is I've seen so many people play it now. I probably, whilst I don't honestly know all the answers, I probably would sort of figure out the puzzles too easily now. So it's a game I don't really want to buy. I've kind of had fun with Factorio for a while, and I need to play that a little bit more. I haven't played it for a little bit. Yeah, and just around here they're in that sort of slightly curved. Hello, Mr. Junior. Unfortunately, you're going to get a bit of camera glare at the moment, which is then going to shield both cameras. Yeah, what are you going to do? That black that you're seeing on both cameras is Junior. You are going to try. Hello there. He's sat right over that camera. I'm just going to wait and see what he decides to do, because if he's going to decide he wants to sit there, then might have to move him. You're going to come and sit on my knee, because I can do scraperboard over the top of you, but I don't want you putting your paws on it. Come on, Junior. Come on. Yeah, it's a bright light. Come on. Come on, that's it. Come on, settle down. Come on. Hello, yes. Come on. Come on, that's it. Come on. Come on. Ow, yes, you've got sharp claws. I shall hopefully be back in a moment, guys. I'm just going to try and persuade him. I'm not going anywhere, but of course all you're seeing is the back end of a cat. Yes, he's tipped the camera down, I'm afraid. I shall put it back up in a moment. Hello, yes. Hello. Okay. Yeah, Mad Max hasn't. I've seen people play, and it's not one that's been looked particularly interesting to me. Sims. Okay. That's not a game that's ever interested me either. Is Sims. I mean, Cities looks partially interesting, but not enough for me to be to actually go out and buy the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, Alder Hitch. He makes enough marks in my skin. I don't want him doing it on the scraperboard as well. Yeah, it is a bit like that, especially with Junior. He will when he's had enough, he will let you know, and if you don't take any heed of when he tells you, then he definitely lets you know. There you go. I'll let you look at Junior for a while. Now, how's that for a? Now that would be quite a good image, wouldn't it, for a painting or something? That sort of really sort of somewhat haughty look he had then. What I'm going to do, you see, now is just give him a little bit of attention like this, and then he'll settle, and hopefully he won't dig too many claws into my leg, which he does when he gets happy. You don't like your eyes clean, do you? Right. Yeah, somewhat. Ah dear, I think he's brought something on his fur as well, because he's making my nose twitch. You can see those dark spots actually on Junior's muzzle here, just where they when the light's not too bright on him. The little dark spots, and from each of those little dark spots, then actually a whisker comes out. Are you settled enough now for me to do a bit more scraping? Let's have a go. Unfortunately, you'll now get my hand in front of it. Let me move the camera back, because otherwise you're just going to get my hand in front of it. See if I can get it to stay there, and now try and put a hat over the top of it so you don't get the glare. There we go. Hello, yes. It's alright, you can stay there. Now you see, if you had leopard spots, you'd be an ideal model just at this moment in time. Oh yes, not quite enough attention, eh? Well, you can't have too much. Oh, hello. Yes. Okay. Don't know if you saw, well, you possibly didn't, but when he thinks he isn't getting enough attention, he stands up, and quite often what he'll do is he'll take his paw and he'll actually put it on my chest and dig his claws in. Just one, it's kind of like, you know, please, and then oh well, it's more, you know, stroke me rather than please. Okay, I'll try and stroke you at the same time as doing this. If I'm gonna be challenged, I might as well be challenged two ways at the same time, eh? I think that's about right. Well, this one just moved in of his own free will, of his own accord. Um, we didn't get him from anywhere. In fact, Cleo as well did the same thing. She just moved in. So they're technically the rescue cats, but they rescued themselves. And Felix is one though that he came from a rescue society, so he's a rescue cat. Yeah. This fella, when he was first around, you couldn't get within about 10 feet of him without him hissing at you, and striking out. And if he did come in the house and he thought that his way out was blocked, he'd start huffing. Yeah, and it quite literally was like a huffing sort of noise that he was making. It's quite amusing in a way. I guess he was sort of very nervous, but and he's got he's got obviously tamed to the point where he's sat on my knee. They're interesting characters, LDLH, but they take a looking after, of course, as well. They don't need walking unless you have a cat that likes to walk, and then you can take them for walks. Some cats will do that, but yeah, we have a few like that, especially if there's any food around free. Luckily, we can have them. Right, so I'm working on the cameras. You're going to let me carry on? Now, at one time, I would not dare have put my right arm where it is now, which is right in front of his nose. Good night then, Super Speedy. You only have foxes and badgers. Not seen any badgers around here. I think we've seen a fox once. We tend to see hedgehogs sometimes. You know what they say about cat? Well, maybe you don't, LH. You don't own cats. Cats own you. Or cats don't have owners, they have servants. No, come on, settle back down. You keep seeing the same one, Free. That's must be living somewhere nearby. Don't think I've ever seen a hedgehog more than once. This is a bit like that. You know, have you ever tried rubbing your stomach and patting your head at the same time? It's a bit like that, trying to do scraperboard and stroke a cat at the same time. Hello. Oh, you're starting to push your head under my arm now, are you? Eh? You want your head rubbing? Okay. Just Jessup, thank you very much. Oh, okay, what sort of... I didn't... Well, I was about to say, I didn't know hedgehogs made noises, but I guess it's obvious that they do, but... You're getting jealous. No, I think Free's got the most wild animals around him, with the gulls. You want to see the kitty? Okay. Well, he's probably about to make himself known, but... there's the kitty. He's decided to settle down again. That's not... okay. I think the gulls are the most vicious ones, aren't they? They tend to... well... Shall we say we've got experience of what gulls can do? This one's Junior. So he's the first pyrography cat that when you see the pyrography stuff, and he's the carving which you just finished. He's sort of the model for that, in that he was in that pose, and I just sketched him, 6 months ago. So it's kind of like the model for it, although I've not sort of copied him in any shape or form other than just his general outline. Yeah, apparently they have really sharp claws, don't they, Free, I think, do badgers. That's going to come up to roughly, yeah, about there. Okay, there's good evening and welcome. From little live cat to a big draw, indeed, a big cat. I've never had a problem with a traffic warden, but there again, I've never parked where I shouldn't have done. I kind of, if I didn't move my head about quite so much for it, I kind of thought about actually doing that. I shall try and remember to move it up for the next stream. Problem is now the camera and the light are both in the way of me looking at the screen that I'm. You know, it's a bit like using a graphics tablet. Is that there's this moving it down here and it's appearing up on the screen. That's, yeah, just about there is where I want to terminate those hairs, because then we start to get the hairs coming in from the cheekbone of the cat, which means they change direction around here. See, Junior's now settled down to the point where I actually don't need to stroke him, and he'll probably sit here for hours if I let him. So the fur's getting a bit more dense here as well as lighter, so it's still sort of end on. There's no real fur laying, but we're just going to make it a little bit brighter with A, more dots, but B, slightly deeper, wider dots. Where did I get the name Zaragan from? Please let him stay. I'm not about to turf him off. He'll go if he wants. You may recall my first Scraperboard piece that I did ever. First ever piece, if you remember. It's a portrait of a gentleman called John Miles, who is in the music industry. He was in the charts for quite a long time, and although he works more in the background these days, but he does still perform. And one of his albums is called Zaragan, and that's where it's from. Indeed, yeah. Yep. Oh, Daddy. Are you going to stay, Junior? You're going to stay? No, you're going to go. Let me move the board before... That was close. You are, aren't you? You guys, that black is because there's a cat's paw right in front of the camera. In fact, I thought he was about to curl up around it. Are you going to let me? Are you going to let? I don't trust you. I don't trust you at this point, Junior. There we go. He's sat right in front of. You can see he's starting to push things around. He's going to settle on the desk. Yeah, by all means, Alda LH. Any of John's stuff is quite good music. I mean, obviously, it's different from music these days, but the white spot. Oh, this one, yeah, that's his front paw. It's all one cat. You want a cuddle cat? You would want to be a bit careful of this one, just Jessup. You can, as long as he wants it. If he doesn't want it, the effect is not as pleasant as you might be liking. He doesn't actually particularly like that too much. Aldel H. His head, yes, and sometimes he'll even let you stroke his stomach, but he's now, of course, knocking the microphone. Because you keep being silly, Cyber. I've put the boat to one side because as he's washing, he's going to push everything away. You can see his paws just down the front here, which is likely to just sort of bounce around. But we are at 5 to 10, so it's getting close to that time anyway. I'm just reaching around the back of me here because what I'm just going to do is show you the I'm going to reverse this camera so it works like a mirror. Just show you the pyrography of the same cat. So unfortunately, I can't actually get to the microphone because he's laid on the stand as well. So there you go. There's the two side by side. I don't know. Yeah, stealing the show. Cats always steal. You know, whenever there's a cat on a stream, don't they? They always take precedence over everything else. Well, what I'm going to do is, yeah. Thank you, Just. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remind those of you that are watching about the scrolling advert across the top of the stream. At some point, when I have an opportunity to do some more, there'll be some pyrography in that shop as well. But for the moment, it's just the jewellery. So if there's anybody interested in for themselves, for presents, for anything else like that, you know, feel free to take a look. There is a coupon code which is scrolling there as well, and Moowat keeps dropping into chat for an introductory offer until roughly the end of this month. So that's that advert done. What I'm also going to do now is advertise the stream, of course, which is if there's anybody that's watching that isn't following, and I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do that, but you know, why wouldn't you want to follow? But yeah, I'm going to encourage you to push the follow button if you are watching and aren't already following the stream. And on the other hand, if you want, you can follow me on. I normally look at a camera which is just down here, and because this one's now pointing at the cat, it's throwing me off. So if you'd like a notification when I go live and you don't trust Twitch to do it for you, you can follow me on Twitter. It's @SarahGannart, with the details below the stream window, and they will be on the end plate in a moment. On the other hand, should you just wish to try and catch me or Junior tomorrow night, the stream will start at about 8 PM UK time. Advance notice, there won't be a stream on Friday. There's no stream on Friday, so tomorrow and then Saturday. So 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT, or 2 hours ago. 4 followers off 400. I haven't been keeping track. Oh, indeed. Well, if there's 4 people around which would like to make it 400 before the end of the stream, that would be nice. What I'm also going to do now, though, is say thank you all very much. I highly encourage you to go check 3D Bloke out. If Free's going to stream, I think he's going to stream some Kerbal Space Program, so he's usually quite a funny guy to watch, especially if he starts playing with gravity in Kerbal Space and not succeeding in getting out of Earth's gravity. Oh, sorry, it's not Earth's gravity, is it, on Kerbal? Whatever the planet is, I can't remember. What's the text behind the chat? What's the text behind the cat? You mean the top corner here? The ZA? It's just Sarah Gannart. It's just the I suppose a logo for the stream at the moment. Or behind, if you're talking about behind this cat, it's the chat window. It's the chat window that you see. So it's what you guys are talking about. That's in there. In the frame, this one at the top. Yeah. Can't move me. Real life cat. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's just the chat. Hi to yourself. Yes, you should see it scroll at a suitable delay between what you say and you seeing the video, of course, with the Twitch stream delay. Anyway, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to host free after this, after I shut down the stream. So if you want to see him, you're quite welcome to stay here and watch him. But of course, you won't be able to chat to free because you'd be in my chat, not his. So do hop over there and say hello when he comes live. Thank you all. Hope I'll see you again tomorrow, and have a good evening.